Are you tired of struggling with hair growth and thinning strands? Release the magic in your locks and tresses with I Am Melanin Magic Hair Oils. Our premium blend of all natural ingredients strengthens, restores, and revitalizes your hair for maximum health and growth. Don't let thinning hair
straightened hair
brand. Upgrade your hair care game today.
So are you.
I Am Melanin Magic Hair Oils. Hello. Welcome to Tanesia's Locks, Beauty Tips and Potpourri. I hope that y'all are having a beautiful day. It is a beautiful, beautiful day down here in Middle Georgia. It's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Today we're going to be talking about some common sense, yet unique things that you need to make sure that you do if you're trying to really maintain the health of your locks over the long term, okay? Long term meaning you want this to be a lifestyle for you. It's not just something you're invested in for, say, a couple of years or so. A lot of women will decide to embark upon their Sisterlocks or Microlocks journey, and then 2 or 3 years later, they've taken them out. I'm talking about long term because having had locks going on now, I think it's either 15 or 16 years. I got to get the numbers right, but I've learned a lot in this journey. You all know that I took a leap into knotted locks 2 years ago. I'll be doing my 2-year knotted lock anniversary in a few weeks because I'm getting ready to come up on the 2-year mark. I learned a lot. I'm moving away from it, and I've already begun doing something else with my hair, and I'll share some of that with you as well. For those of you who are in the knotted locks course that are taking it through the academy, please remember to check your emails over the next couple weeks because you will have gotten a few emails. I'm transferring the school over to Throne Academy, so it won't be on that same platform. You're going to need to know how to find the course so that you can continue to engage, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into it. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Go ahead and like the video and put down in the comments the number one thing that you feel that you have learned throughout your journey that might help someone else. And if you're new to the journey and you just happen to be watching the video because you kind of want to get an idea about whether or not this is something you want to do, what I'd like you to do is put the question that is of the utmost concern in the comments, okay? And then we'll dig into it. But let's go ahead and start to talk about it. One of the things that I would do if I were you and I was on this journey and I was trying to maintain the health of my hair is I would, when trying something new, and this comes from experience, I would do a trial on a section of my hair. And this doesn't matter if you're doing color, if you are doing a new method. If you say, for example, you have traditional locks and they're not necessarily small, but they're medium and you're transitioning from palm rolling to interlocking, whatever it is that you decide to do, never feel like you have to go all in the beginning because you can never really know. Things can look really good from the outside. And then when you get close up, they can still look really good. But then when you take the dive, then you get to see how they really look. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then when time goes by, you get to see how they really look and how they develop. So you'll see people get their hair colored, for example, and they're infatuated with it. You know, it just got colored. The color is bright, it's brilliant, it's gorgeous. They're feeling that new sexy Sisterlock, Microlock energy. And then as time goes on, they start to notice that the locks get weaker. They start to notice that the hair feels more crunchy, that the hair feels more dry. They don't like the way it feels. And then give it a little more time. A year later, they start to see the locks weaken. So I'm going to say to you, no matter what it is you try. For example, I had no idea because I simply was not told, and neither was anyone else, that your locks are going to shrink. When you do knotted locks, and they're going to shrink way up. So not only are you going to lose length, but you're going to encounter other challenges as well that you wouldn't know if you were not told. That the only way you would know is that you'd have to go through the fire on your own. So that is why I say pick a few locks and work on those locks. Color those locks and let those locks see how they handle the color. Interlock just those locks and see how it works and how it feels overall. That's going to always be your best bet, bar none. The second thing, avoid color as much as you can. You all know I am someone that absolutely loves color. I've been coloring my hair for about 10 years. I've never gotten it colored professionally. I've only colored using Vidal Sassoon, red, runaway red. And then I used Adore products from the beauty supply store. And then I used Splat a few times. I'm still going to say, and I never used bleach and I never used a very concentrated or strong developer on my hair. I would still say, if you're going to bleach and if you're going to be coloring your hair, to test it on a few strands. And we hear that all the time, test it, but usually on the instructions it implies, or the understanding is, do it for 24 hours or 48 hours to see if it aggravates your skin. What I'm saying is, whether it's henna, whether it's bleach, whether it's temporary, because Splat was harder on my hair than any of the other products. The color was intense, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but it was harder on my hair, I feel, than any of the other colors that I've used over the last 10 years. So I would say to you, is in all of your overzealousness, and y'all know how zealous I can be, I would say give it time to set, give it time to develop, and see how your hair likes it. And typically, when you're talking about doing something with the roots, as in knotted locks or going from interlocking to palm roll, whatever, you're going to need a year minimum. You're going to need a minimum of a year to see how your hair responds to it. If you're talking about color, you're going to need about 9 months plus, okay, to see if it's going to break your hair down so much that it's going to cause the loss of your locks. Because I will tell you, everybody's hair is not the same. Everybody has a different grade. Everybody has a different level of porosity. Everybody has a different set of circumstances with what they're coming to the table with in terms of how they've cared for their hair up until the point that they try something different. All of those things matter, as well as the history of your hair and what you might have already been doing with your hair to begin with. The third thing that I want to talk about, long-term health of your hair, is really the loctician that you choose and the person that's going to be maintaining your hair. Know them well, have seen samples of their work. If they're already doing your hair, make sure you have an open dialogue with them. Make sure that the rapport is such that you can express your concerns, if you have any, that you can ask as many questions as you can. If you have a loctician or someone that you're dealing with and you start to ask them questions and they tense up, or they feel as though you're indicting them, or they feel as though they are under attack, or you're starting to pick up on an underlying energy that just does not feel soft and inviting and nurturing and welcoming of your questions, then that may be a relationship you want to reconsider. You want to be with the best loctician for what your hangups are, what your idiosyncrasies are, and what your concerns are. And for example, let's say, y'all know I've been on this channel for 7 years or so, and I have talked about the importance of not having pain when you get your hair done. And if you're getting your hair done and you have pain, it is the first sign of trauma. Okay, and you better believe that that trauma is going to take hold, and over a period of time, it's going to have a cumulative effect, and it's going to contribute to thinning. So let's say, for example, that's the thing that is your hang up. But you also need someone that's on time, because let's say you travel 45 minutes to an hour to get there. You need someone who's in a certain price range. Well, you got to kind of know what you need, and you got to kind of prioritize what is the most important to you, because at the end of the day, that number one thing that is of most importance to you is going to be either the deal breaker or the deal maker. So for example, let's say your loctician is great in every way. Oh my goodness. Every way possible except that number one item on your list. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes you go out of there and your hair hurts, your head hurts, your scalp hurts. Sometimes you leave there, you notice you have to take an Advil, or maybe you've become kind of anticipatory and you begin to take an Advil or a few pills, or you do something special. You have a ritual that you do before or after you get your locks retightened, because you always have some sort of discomfort, whether it is delayed or whether it's discomfort that you experience at the outset of the retightening. That's the kind of thing that becomes a deal breaker, because after you have flagged that situation and after you have expressed your concern, if it doesn't course correct, or if she doesn't course correct it, or it doesn't straighten up down the line, it's going to be something that's going to create increasing discomfort for you. Intuitively, you're going to be out of alignment because it's a concern and it's not being rescued or it's not being fixed. And so it's the sort of thing that will cause you to say, as much as I love the fact that she's on time, as much as I love her prices, I'm afraid that if I continue this, my hair is going to be weakened. My follicles are going to be weakened. And that brings me to the next item. And the last item in this list of most important things to keep an eye on. And that is having to do with your retightenings, having to do with the associated pain, having to do with sort of being over concerned with your grid at the expense of everything else. That's going to always be something that I'm going to talk about, because this style has been marketed as a lifestyle, which kind of for some people can be misunderstood. It sort of implies you can have it for a lifetime, and you may be able to have it for a considerable amount of time. And some people, a small percentage of people, may be able to have it for an extended period of time or a lifetime, so to speak. But for the majority of people, that is going to be contingent upon not only your hair's health, not only some of your DNA and your genetics, but more than that, the one thing that you can do to influence that is to choose the loctician and to make sure that you have a loctician who is invested in your longevity. Your longevity is not, can you keep coming to the appointments and making those payments? The longevity is what I am doing with your hair and how I am caring for your hair benefiting you long term. Am I invested in the health of your hair? Am I making the kinds of decisions whereby if I was the only person doing your hair 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 11 years, that at the end of that period, I could feel good about the state of your hair and you could feel good about the state of your hair, and we wouldn't be at any particular landmark or benchmark year in that hair journey, that co-hair journey that we have, and me be in a space where I'm like, my hair is kind of thinning and she hasn't really said anything to me yet. I lost a few locks. I got some locks that are married. I have some concerns. I don't really know what's going on. She hasn't said anything to me yet, and I'm a little confused. That's not something that you want to have to deal with. So essentially what I'm saying is you want your loctician to be invested in your longevity. And being invested in your longevity means making the short-term decisions that contribute to either the long-term issues or the long-term problems with your hair. If you have a loctician, for example, every time you go to get your hair done, it's a painful, grimacing experience. And it continues to be, and it continues to be, and it continues to be. One day, your follicles are going to be like, okay, we have had enough. We have been telling you, we have been expressing our pain. You have not been listening, and now we're about to fold. And they're just going to start dropping off, okay? And your follicles will be fearful instead of fearless. Y'all know we have fearless follicles on the Iron Melanin Magic website. That's not what you want, okay? You don't want to know that continual trauma to your strands will create trauma to your scalp, will create trauma to your follicles, however it is you want to look at what's going on with your hair, because there are signs. There's signs in the tresses, there are signs at the scalp level, there are signs at the follicle level, and for some people, there are internal signs as well. So you want to make sure that that person is willing to do whatever they have to do, course correct in whatever way they have to course correct, take your feedback, in a constructive way, in any way that they have to, in order to cater to what your hair needs, which is a tender hand, a skilled technician, and someone who has a heart for hair. I'm here and I'm telling you the truth. For those of you who have not ordered your Loc Journey guided journal, tracker and planner, Chronicles of Hair Growth, if you have not ordered this, you can get it from the I Am Melanin Magic website, but many of you already know you can also get it on Amazon. This is a very comprehensive, it's a planner, it's a tracker, it has your calendars, it has your retightening schedule, it has your monthly reflections, it has your pre and post retightening data, it has content in it, teachable content, whether it's thinning concerns, loctician concerns. It's got everything you need to celebrate your locversaries. It's got your hair goals. This thing is full on, the most comprehensive and best, I'm going to say it is the best Loc Journey guided journal that is comprehensive, is informational, is transformational. And the thing I love most about my journal, and the thing that I enjoyed the most about this journal, is the last 100 prompts that are in this journal. It's a little bit over 100, have to do with the spiritual underpinning to why you made this journey and some of the benefits. So we deal with everything from self-esteem and confidence to the ancestral history and wounding behind our hair, to the patience and growth that has taken place, self-care and nourishment, identity and transformation. Like, love went into this. You also have your mantras, your affirmations, and your reflections that are in here. Words of wisdom that you may pick up from others who have YouTube channels. You got your Loc monthly checklist. You got your budgets. You have any and everything that you would want in this journal. It is over 500 pages. It is the only journal that you will need. You can put your pictures in here. There are plenty of places for your portfolio, self-care check-ins, your weekly journal wellness. I also give you regular budgets at the beginning, as well as a budget for your Loc. So you're going to get everything here: your retwist logs, your checklist, your Loc budgets, your Loc tips, your mantras. The back just tells you a little bit about who I am. You got informational pages, intrapersonal development. You can get this on the I Am Melanin Magic website. If you order from me, you can still get the introductory price, if I'm correct. And you can also still get the Loc reflection cards, which are 27 little, maybe 2.75 by 4.5 cards that have a beautiful picture of a melanated woman who has locks on there, and it draws your attention to a specific area of your Loc journey that mirrors your spiritual journey. So maybe it has to do with nurturing self-care, with how you're taking care of your strands, how you're taking care of your life. Okay, so if you get it on Amazon, you can't get those, which is fine. But if you order from the I Am Melanin Magic website, you definitely can. This is the only journal that you will ever need. And those of you who have it have expressed such joy with it and are telling me how just in time it is for you and how it's a wonderful tool for your evolution. It doesn't matter, by the way, where you are in your journey. You can pick this up anytime, because the content in here transcends where you are at the beginning, the middle, or the end of your journey. You can be anywhere in your journey, okay? And you can relate to this. If you have been looking for a way to chronicle your Loc experience and the way that it has transformed your life, if you have repivoted at any particular time, if you pivoted or repivoted at a particular time, let's say you moved from Sisterlocks to Microlocks, or you started combining Locs, what you need is in here. If you've come back to Locs after a while, what you need is in here. So anyway, you are with Tanisha Ali. If you haven't purchased my Manifesting Your Masterpiece book, you can get that on Amazon as well. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I support you. Oh, and I have a video coming up in a few days that is in the queue that has to do with my menopause journey and my journey to take the deep dive into HRT. I'm very excited about it. Supposed to have started it about 2 months ago. Had the hormones, but wasn't going to take them. Wanted to take another route, but I've decided since to go ahead and take them. And I'd love to know if you guys would be interested in sharing that journey with me by either sharing your journey. You don't have to just be in menopause. You could be postmenopause. Well, technically, there's no such thing as postmenopause because you're in the grave when you get done with menopause. But say you're in premenopause, or say you're in perimenopause, or say you have some concerns about different symptoms and things, and you never thought about perio or premenopause, but you start to realize, you know what? I think I have a class of symptoms that may be pointing to the fact that I'm in perimenopause. If you want to discuss it, if you want to collaborate and build a sense of community around that as a particular topic that we touch on every now and then, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know if you're interested. Let me know if you're already on hormone replacement therapy. Let me know if you have fears around hormone replacement therapy. I have a wonderful gynecologist down here. Dr. Monet is extraordinary, but I've also listened to, I think, Sandra Malone, which is Eric, I can't think of his name, from the Department of Education during, I think it was Biden's administration. His wife is talking about it. Also, Marie Claire is talking about menopause and talking about taking the stigma away from hormone replacement therapy, which the research today has taken us in an entirely new direction. So we are debunking a lot of the outdated fears and data that was based on studies. A major study that was done, I believe, in the 90s, which really had bad design and had a lot of flaws. And so we are looking at, as a people, as a gender, so many ways to re-embrace this whole period of our life. And I really feel like it's something to celebrate. But I also know that when the estrogen stops, a whole lot of things stop. And they're now linking estrogen to brain function. What happens to a woman's brain when she goes into menopause? And all I know is I am in the best years of my life in all areas, and I want to continue to enjoy that. And I don't want that to be short-circuited by a period of time in my life where I lose a major hormone. And so let me know how you guys are doing with that. If you're someone that has mild symptoms and you don't even have many menopausal symptoms, I want to hear about that too. I consider my symptoms very mild. I don't have the night sweats. I don't have the hot flashes. So there are a lot of things that I'm not having, but I'm also beginning to think that some of the achiness in the joint and the muscular stuff that I've dealt with for the last few years may well have been somewhat attributed to that, or it could be attributed to that. So anyway, I'm going to be diving into a little bit of that journey here on the channel. If you are interested and it's something that you can feel you relate to, definitely put that in the comments. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. It's gorgeous here. I'm getting ready to go outside and get some sun. Bye. Our magical hair growth serum did this after just 8 short weeks, 5 times per week. Denisha began with the premium oil blend in April, and by June, she had already regrown hair. Angelica addressed thinning with the magical hair growth serum and continues to use the products to improve thinning in areas where it's been hard to regrow hair. Meet Kina. Her hair loss was spread over several areas. She went ham with the magical hair growth serum, and to the shock of her loctician, her hair began to rebound fast. She is delighted, and so am I. I am Melanin Magic, and so are you.